new Paperlikes here. Oh, and the new PenTips are here. And I've had rock, paper, pencil for a while, but I thought, hey, let's throw it in here anyway. This video is a little bit of a mishmash where I take a couple things and I throw them together on their own. I don't know if a Paperlike is worth a 10-minute review. I was going to make a short, but when the PenTips showed up, I thought, let's talk about how to make our iPads scritchier. The iPad has a smooth glass screen, and the Apple Pencil is plastic, so your pencil slides around on that screen. I have said this so many times in my videos. I don't know if you're getting tired of hearing me say it, but I am. But there's some truth to that. That is one of the downsides of the iPad. Now, it's good and bad, right? These brand new iPad Pros that have the dual OLED displays are crazy bright and beautiful, and having a glossy screen on that really makes them shine. But being able to add a little bit more resistance to your iPad would be kind of nice. Now, Apple kind of took a step in that direction last year with the 2024 M4 iPad Pro. They have a nano textured display option on the most expensive models, and I tested one of those out. It was okay. It was fine. I didn't find it to be super scritchy. I thought it looked good, and I was amazed at how easy it was to read the screen, even in full sun. That's a pretty expensive option. These three options, significantly cheaper. That's why they're worth looking into. So let's take a look at the Paperlike screen protector first. This is the third generation of their screen protectors. I've been using these pretty much since the beginning, like 9 years ago. The first generation was just a boring matte screen protector that you put on your iPad. It was no different than many of the things you found on Amazon or something like that. Their second generation, they tried to get rid of some of the textured look, because what was happening when you put a matte screen protector on your iPad is it diffracts the light in some weird ways, and it gives it a really grainy look. It also tends to dull the colors. Sometimes that grainy look on an iPad comes off looking like a rainbow sheen when you're like looking at your iPad from different angles. So the second generation, they tried to get rid of that, and it worked, but it made a thicker, more plasticky feeling screen protector. I thought it was pretty good to draw on. I didn't mind, but I saw some people who didn't really care for that feel. This one kind of comes in and tries to be the best of both worlds. And overall, when I got it on my iPad, I have to say, this looked really good. One of the downsides of using any kind of matte screen protector is it's gonna dull the display a little bit. And since you're dealing with a dual OLED display, that's like the coolest part of the iPad Pro. And taking a little bit of the punchiness away from that screen kind of feels like you're losing one of its best features. Here, I think it reduces it a little bit. I mean, you can definitely tell when I put like this year's iPad Pro next to last year's iPad Pro that has the screen protector on it. I can definitely tell that the one without the screen protector does look better, but I don't think this looks bad at all. This is definitely Paperlike's best screen protector so far. As far as drawing on it, I really enjoyed the feel. I enjoyed the texture. This gets 2 thumbs up for me. I think this is fantastic. It's just the right amount of grip to the pencil when you're drawing. It gives you that control. I like it. And with any plastic screen protector, you are going to get scratches on it over time. And after a week of use, I'm definitely starting to see those appear. When you look at the screen straight on, it's not really that noticeable, but when the screen is off or you get it at an angle, you're going to see a lot of scratches, especially the longer you use it. Now, one of the hardest things to do is actually putting the screen protector on your iPad. The bigger the screen that you try to put a protector on, the more likely you are to get dust and air and that sort of thing trapped underneath it while you're applying it. So they've rethought the process of how to put this on, and it was fine, I guess. When you open the package, there's 2 screen protectors in there. So if you mess up one or yours gets dirty and scratched over time, which it will, you can replace it later. It comes with 2 wet wipe cleaning cloths, and it comes with this little squeegee thing. It's a tool that does several different things in this process, and I'll get to that in a minute. There's also a QR code that says scan me with your iPad. I did, and that basically takes you to the instructions for this, and it has videos that kind of walks you through it. It's a multi-step process. Even though I thought it was kind of a cool idea that you would scan it with your iPad so that you could just watch on your iPad, I wanted to have my iPad screen off. Whenever I apply a screen protector, I made sure to power down my iPad. Touching the screen toggles it on. The main reason why is I like the black screen because it shows me the dirt, it shows me the dust. It's just easier to look at and see that sort of thing when I'm applying this. So I watched the videos on a different screen. So I wiped it down, I cleaned cleaned it off with this thing, and then this little tool is not just a squeegee to get off your air bubbles, but you can also use it, it's got this plastic thing on the side, to line up the screen protector itself. That was kind of cool, and then you could pull off the edge of one of the plastic underneath, stick that side in there, pull off the other side of the plastic, get it applied. Now, what I thought was interesting, I haven't seen another screen protector do this, is there's actually 2 layers that you have to take off the bottom before it sticks to your iPad. That first layer you're taking off actually is like a sticky layer that's designed to have dust stick to it when you put it on there, which is pretty clever because dust stuck under your iPad is the thing that causes the burst air bubbles. And then I use the hook tool thing on the plastic squeegee to pull off the other layers. That's the actual backing of the screen protector. It was kind of a convoluted process. You definitely are going to want to watch the videos before you actually go through how to put this thing on. Just watch all the videos first, then go back and do the steps. Trust me. Did it reduce all the air bubbles in this? No, unfortunately, I still have a couple small ones in there. I don't think I have ever put a screen protector on an iPad Pro and not had some kind of air bubbles on it. It's just too big and too unwieldy. It just happens. Smaller screens, I've had a lot of luck. Like if I'm putting them on a phone or like an iPad mini, it's pretty easy to get the air bubbles out. A screen this big is just hard. The good news here is when the screen is on, I can't see the air bubbles. The bad news is when the screen is off, totally can see the air bubble. Overall, I give this thing a grade of an A. I really like it. I like the feel. I like how it makes the screen look. It doesn't dull it too much. Not fun to set up, but none of them are. The one thing is this is $50 for these 2 protectors that come in this sleeve. You can definitely find matte screen protectors dirt cheap on Amazon. I don't think they're as good as this, but if you're paying $15 versus $50, do you notice that it's 25% better, or that it looks a little better, or that's a little scratchier? Quick break before we get to the next one. Shout out to my Learn to Draw in 60 Days course. I still have my Black Friday/Cyber Monday deal going on. Check out my website to learn more. Booyah! So say you don't want to go the screen protector route. That's where these come in. This little package here, these are the PenTips. Now they have different flavors of PenTips, like they have their PenTip Lights, which is like a subtle grippiness. Their PenTips 2 Plus, which is like more of a textured paper feel. These are the PenTips 3. They list these on their website for $70, but they're currently selling them for $40. And you basically screw off the tip of your Apple Pencil, you put one of these guys on, and you just start drawing. Works really well. Now, the one thing that I look for whenever I use any kind of pen tip, because some of them just come over the top of the Apple Pencil, oftentimes that sort of pen tip can actually add a little wave to the line because it's increasing the distance between the Apple Pencil tip and the sensors underneath the screen. That doesn't happen here. I got really nice, crisp, clean lines. Now, one thing I will say about this in terms of my taste is it was a little too grippy, because what this is it's a rubbery-ish tip, a plasticky rubbery feel. Drawing on a matte screen is textured, so it's like kind of like dragging an actual pencil across an actual piece of paper. This feels kind of artificial, but it does feel, I don't know if I want to say it feels better. It definitely gives you more resistance than just plastic on glass. I definitely didn't care for it too much when I was just sketching, because it provided too much resistance when I was just trying to get my pencil lines out. And then when I was doing my inking, it did give me more control, and I was happier with it then. The one thing that I did run into whenever I used this is that if you get any oils or any dirt or any kind of thing, substance on your iPad screen, what ends up happening is as you draw across it, it feels different. Sometimes it gives you a little bit more resistance, a little bit less resistance. So if you're drawing a line across the screen and all of a sudden you hit something that's on that screen, it feels different, it feels wrong, and it's weird, and it's not like you're losing control, but it doesn't feel like you have the control that you think you do. Hold on a second. I think I have some old PenTips. Some old ones I have from a few years ago? Oh my gosh, I do! So neither of these say what version these are, but these are the older ones. These have less grip, and these actually feel pretty good. I would draw with these. So overall, I like the idea. I think the implementation is good because I'm not getting any line wave here, but it's too much grip for me, and it's a little too artificial. Probably something I'd get used to, but I I prefer the texture of a screen protector. This brings us to rock, paper, pencil, which is probably what I have used the most in the last 2 years. Now there's different companies that make screen protectors similar to this, but what this is, it's kind of a set of things. First of all, in that set is the screen protector itself. This is a removable screen protector. So unlike the others where you have to worry about bubbles and all that sort of thing, this has little sticky magnets along the top and along the bottom, and I can just apply it to my iPad when I need it, and then I can draw on it. I get that texture that I really like. And then when I want to see my accurate colors or I want to watch media or read on this thing, I can just peel it on off. Now the downside is that it's a sheet of plastic and it gets so gross and dirty. I spent like 10 minutes washing this thing before I filmed it, and it doesn't look like I washed it at all. I did wash it. I hope the grossness doesn't show up on film too much, but I could see it. I think this is one of those things where I probably should have thrown this out a year ago and just bought a new one. The other thing that comes with this particular set are screw-on pen nibs, kind of similar to the ones we were just looking at, but these are like ballpoint pen nibs that are designed to be used with a screen protector like this. This is to give you extra super grip. It's kind of interesting. They work. They make a lot of noise. This again is probably too much grip for me, but if you like that super crazy uber grip, this isn't a bad way to go. So which one will I personally use going forward? Well, now that the Paperlike is actually on my iPad, I'm probably going to keep it there for a while. I think it looks good. But like I said, for the last 2 years, I've been using the removable one because I like being able to get that super crazy, beautiful dual OLED screen in all of its glory. PenTips? Pretty cool idea. I probably just got the wrong kind. But anyway, those are my mini reviews. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you in a couple of days.